What are the two major reasons that stop consumers from obtaining a mortgage? Number one, finances, and number two, their credit. So those are the two things that we're going to talk about, because I'm going to help you overcome those barriers and go out and get that mortgage if that's what you're looking for. All right. And we're starting with number one. Now, obviously, I can't give you $1 million, right? That really wouldn't solve anything other than me giving you $1 million. Now you have $1 million, right? But what I can do is kind of fill you in on what we did that allowed us to, without going out and making more money, come up with the money that we needed to by sacrificing. And I do have a video on that entire thing where I break it down. But that allowed us to put away $45,000 over the course of 3 years that we then used on a mortgage. All right. And number two, I'm going to fill you in on kind of where my husband started with a 538 credit score. And you can see that full breakdown here. And over the course of 18 months, he went from a 538 to a 740, having negative items to 0 negative items, and then built out 20 different lines that allowed him to go get approved for over $1.5 million in less than 11 months. Now, let's talk about number one in sacrifice. All right. Now, what am I talking about sacrifice? Well, again, you're going to want to go check out that video, but this is really, really simple. If you can't go out and get more money, you need to be able to come up with a way that's going to allow you to make the same amount of money, but be able to put some away. Okay. And I'm not going to tell you that you need to, stop doing the things that you really like to do. But what we did, and let me just give you that example. What we did was, even though we were living just a couple of blocks from the ocean in Coney Island in a condo, we packed it up. And so here's what we did. Even though we were living in Coney Island, just a couple of blocks away from the ocean, we packed it all up and moved upstate. Now, why in the heck would we do that? And it really wasn't as easy as it sounds, because I had to talk my Puerto Rican husband into leaving the only thing that he's ever known, which was Brooklyn, and moving upstate to where everyone thought was just, middle of nowhere hicks and cows, right? Nothing wrong with that. Just saying, that's not what he was used to. All right. But we were able to go from paying $2,200 a month down to about $500 to $600 and put that difference away. And over the course of 3 years, that added up to $45,000. All right. Now, I'm not telling you that you're going to be able to go out and put away $45,000, but what I am saying is that by changing things like the location that you live in, or how much rent you're paying, or just different things like that. For us, it really just came down to sacrifice. I mean, it's only a 3-hour difference between upstate New York and New York City. You can jump on a bus for $20. You can take Amtrak. You can jump on Greyhound for all that matters, right? And you can even go back through my videos and see the different apartments that we lived in, right? One that had a 1968 heater behind me when I was making my videos back in 2015 when I started right here on YouTube. And kind of progressed from there, renting houses and all that kind of stuff, renting apartments. And here we are, a 2,600 square foot house with cars and all this other kind of stuff. Now, I'm not trying to sell you my lifestyle. I'm not trying to sell you anything. What I am trying to tell you is that when you make sacrifices for a short period of time, and 3 years is nothing. You can, yesterday you were in high school and you blinked and here we are today, right? But that allows you to not have to go out and make more money, but take the money that you are currently making and just put it away by changing your circumstances, all right? Now, if we go and we look at the second thing, right? So we already talked about how you can make some changes in your life so that you can fix the finance part of it, because that's a huge one. I don't have enough money to put down on a house. Well, guess what? You either have to go out and make more money, or you need to do something with the money that you currently have that's going to allow you to put that down on a house and change your circumstances, right? But the second thing is, when you fix your credit, you're going to have to put less money down on a house, and it's going to cost you less over the life of the mortgage, right? I mean, that's kind of common sense. Now, when people come to me, normally they're at a point where, they don't really have, they're just not score qualified, right? Everything is a numbers game. Let's just look at an example. $200,000 30-year conventional mortgage at a 4% interest rate is going to be $43,000 in interest over those 30 years. However, if you have a credit score that gives you a 5% interest rate, now you're paying $43,000 more. So you're paying $86,000 in interest, right? For that same $200,000 30-year conventional mortgage, right? So does fixing your credit really make an impact? Yes, it does, because that 1% difference is going to be literally double the interest, okay? So what do we want to do? We want to take the time to realistically, you got to have realistic expectations. We want to take the time to invest into fixing our credit, going from a 500 to a 600 to a 700, at least a 700, so that we can decrease that total APR and keep that money in our pocket, all right? You didn't work your entire adult life to put that money into someone else's pocket. Yes, everyone tells you that right now is the time to go out and buy and blah, blah. Look at the interest rates. What are they? 6%? 7%? That means that automatically, without even looking at your credit, you're going to be paying $700 to $1,200 or more per month for that same mortgage that you would have done about a year ago, okay? So if you don't go into this having that credit score that you need and being way more than just score qualified, then you are just dumping money that you worked so hard for your entire life and even right now into someone else's pocket unnecessarily. So what do? Well, first of all, you need to go and remove those negative items. And if you need help with that, the link is at the top of the screen, or you can use the number at the bottom of the screen, all right? Number two, you need to build out very, very, very specific types of credit lines so that you can have a fleshed out file, and you are more likely to get approved for more, all right? Not just more likely to get approved, but approved for more, okay? And number three, you need to have that credit score, all right? And all these things lead up to just having a mortgage that works for you, works within your budget. You're not pushing yourself every single month. You're not worried about, hey, am I going to have a late payment because I can't make the mortgage this month? We don't want to have to worry about that. So if you need help with any of these things, I am here to help you, but I also have 1,200 videos going back 9 years, okay? That is the reason that I put these here. And my proof of concept is legit. I was able to get someone approved for over $1.5 million in less than 11 months. And that was my husband. I even have this video here where I showed you the 20 different lines that we built up so that, you know, he can go out and get that mortgage. Now, I'm using him as an example because it is the perfect example, all right? Someone who literally had such poor credit that they couldn't finance a bottle of water to someone that can just walk into virtually anywhere and get whatever they want, all right? Because obviously both parties need to have good credit, okay? So it wasn't like, hey, I'm going to carry us for the rest of our lives. No, you need to also have you also need to build up yours, all right? So that's why I share his story, because it is the greatest of stories. And if you want to learn more about that, you're going to want to go check out these videos, all right? So that is it for today. If you need help, those 1,200 videos are there for you to go and learn from. Otherwise, I have a ton of resources down in the description. And the entire point of this is getting a mortgage, obtaining a mortgage is not far-fetched, but there are certain sacrifices that you are going to need to make right now that's going to allow you to go and get the house that you want. Not a house that you just settling on because your finances aren't right, because your credit is not right. Don't put yourself in that position when you can just go and fix those things so that you can be where you need to be, all right? And again, this all has to do with realistic expectations, because trust and believe, if what everybody is looking for, that overnight processes and all of that, I would give it to you. I would sell it to you, all right? But it doesn't exist. But what does exist is fixing your credit in a realistic period of time and getting the credit score that you need so that you can go and get that house and move on with your life and never have to watch videos like this ever again, all right? So I will see you tomorrow. Hope you have a great one. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that great stuff.